Greetings, Shalom. Welcome to day number 50 of the 333 days of reading and meditating on the scriptures. I pray and declare God's favor and blessings be upon you. May they overtake you in your way as you go, believing and trusting in Him. May God, who came down and spoke to Adam, to Abraham, and even to Cain when Cain was in the wrong, may He meet you and me and grant us the grace to turn and to do good all the days of our lives. And may God shower us with the abundance of the fullness of His treasures and pleasures that come from His treasure store. May God's light be the light that we see with. Come and see, says the angel in the book of Revelation. So may you see what God intends for you to see today. We are reading the entire Bible in 333 days. We meditate daily on the scriptures that we read out of this reading plan developed by Hagar Academy for your benefit. So see you daily here on this channel for each day's guided meditation. So our day number 50 reading and meditation is as follows. On identity and mind renewal, we are reading and meditating from Isaiah chapter 50. On prosperity and wisdom conditioning, we are reading and meditating from Psalms chapter 37 verses 1 to 10. Just a portion of Psalms chapter 37. For the formation of God's people, we are reading and meditating from the book of Leviticus, chapters 11 and 12. Isaiah 50 verse 10 says, "Who among you fears the Lord and obeys the voice of God's servant? Who among you walks in darkness and has no light? Let him trust in the name of the Lord. Let him lean on his God." And I will speak a few scriptures from the book of Psalms chapter 37. It says, "Do not fret because of evildoers, nor be anxious of the workers of iniquity, or envious of the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like grass and wither like the green herb. But trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and feed on His faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He shall give you the desires of your heart." That's verse number 4. "And commit your way to the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass." What? If you commit your way and you trust Him. Verse 6 says, "He shall bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday." Verse 7 says, "Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who brings wicked schemes to pass. But cease from anger, forsake wrath. Do not fret, it only causes harm." Verse 9 says, "For evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait on the Lord, they shall inherit the earth." So, if you wait on the Lord, does that mean you cease from anger, from wrath, from envy? Are you inheriting the earth today as you walk? The book of Leviticus chapter 11 deals with permitted and forbidden foods, what are termed clean and unclean animals. And the 12th chapter talks about rituals that women followed after childbirth. There were rituals of separation, cleansing, and renewal of life and womanhood. You may be wondering what kind of meditation can one do from such scriptures. These are scriptures that are deeply formative and natural in their principles, and about the calling and the discernment and boundaries and seasons and the renewal of strength that we need as people, and as people set aside and called by God. For example, on meats and fruits, you can say not everything that is available is meant to be eaten or internalized. It's not about my appetite, but more about my calling and my purpose. So we should always focus on that, and you should see it in that light. The rituals after childbearing should not be viewed as punitive, though the understanding of the historical text and history suggests this. Let's look at it from the light of God so we can understand it in the light of God. These laws pointed to a protective separation, which is not punitive in nature. God was making a distinction that was intended to preserve and bring about clarity, health, and identity. And it was also about a call to holiness that required intentional limits. So if you think about it in modern terms and what we have seen in the health sector, what benefit would be no rituals, no rest, no care when a mother most needs postpartum self-care, and that of the community helping her after childbirth? It would be tragic, right? Now let's get into our guided meditation. For our breath exercise meditation today, say with me: as I live, I dwell where God has placed me, and I feed on His faithfulness. What sustains my soul is not circumstance, but His constance. I release anxious comparison and resist the urge to fret. I do not measure my life against the actions or success of others. And then for our identity and mind renewal meditation, coming from the book of Isaiah chapter 50, let's meditate on this and say, I awaken my inner ear to listen. God teaches me moment by moment, and I receive instruction with readiness and humility. I walk forward in trust. Even when the path feels dark, I rely on God's light rather than my own understanding. God's truth defines me more clearly than the voices that are around me. So I entrust my reputation to God and not to men. And then for our wisdom conditioning meditation, declare with me in faith, saying, I choose to trust the Lord and to practice good intentionally. My focus rests on faithfulness rather than being reactive. I commit my path to God without reservation. I trust Him to carry forward what I place in His care. I delight myself in the Lord. As my joy aligns with Him, so my desires are refined and clarified. And then in our formation meditation, where we are reading from the book of Leviticus chapter 11 and 12 that we just talked about, declare with me and say this: I practice discernment with intention. I learn to distinguish what nourishes my life from what disrupts my peace, clarity, and alignment with God. I recognize that awareness precedes wisdom. What I allow into my mind and into my heart and habits, they influence the state of my inner life. And lastly, in our activation meditation today, choose intention and go on to do this. Say it with me. Today, I live life with a heightened awareness. My daily choices reflect honor, discernment, and steady alignment with God's design for life. I choose to be aligned with God's purposes and plans. And the Lord bless you as you meditate with us and come back to this channel. We see each other again on day number 51. And shalom and have a blessed time. Amen.